Welcome to the Sweet Symphony of Sara's Bakery by Little Robin, a delightful story that not only entertains but also helps you improve your English listening and speaking skills. As you listen, you'll immerse yourself in the daily life of Sara, a passionate baker, while picking up new vocabulary related to baking and the art of running a bakery. This story is designed to enrich your understanding of English by introducing you to the language of baking, from the tools and techniques used to the delicious creations that come out of the oven. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. It's a fun and tasty way to boost your English skills. The Sweet Symphony of Sara's Bakery. Located in the heart of downtown, Sara's Bakery was a charming little shop known for its delectable desserts and welcoming atmosphere. Every morning, long before the sun peeked over the horizon, Sara began her day with the same dedication and passion that had built her reputation as the best baker in town. The early start. Sara's day began at 4:30 a.m. She rose from her cozy bed, slipped into her well-worn apron, and tied her chestnut brown hair. With a quick glance at the clock, she grabbed her recipe book, a cherished heirloom passed down through generations, and headed to her beloved bakery. The preparation. Upon arrival, Sara switched on the lights, illuminating the pastel-colored walls and the inviting display cases. She flicked on the industrial mixer, a massive machine that could blend ingredients with ease. Its shiny stainless steel bowl was polished to perfection, reflecting the early morning light. Sara's Bakery offers a delightful menu filled with a variety of irresistible treats. Her donuts are a fan favorite, featuring a light, fluffy texture with a glaze that melts in your mouth. Available in classic flavors like vanilla, chocolate, and seasonal specials. The cupcakes are equally beloved, with moist, flavorful bases topped with rich, creamy frosting and intricate decorations that make them perfect for any occasion. Sara's cakes are a true showstopper, ranging from simple yet elegant vanilla and chocolate layers to more elaborate creations adorned with fresh fruits and buttercream roses. The chocolate chip cookies are perfectly chewy with gooey, melty chocolate in every bite, while her freshly baked bread offers a rustic, hearty taste that pairs wonderfully with any meal. A highlight of the menu is Sara's special croissants, a buttery, flaky pastry with layers so delicate they almost melt on the tongue, often filled with almond cream or chocolate. Finally, for a comforting breakfast option, Sara's pancakes are thick, fluffy, and served with a drizzle of maple syrup, making them a perfect way to start the day. This diverse menu ensures there's something delicious for everyone to enjoy. Crafting the pastries. Sara's Bakery was famous for its croissants. She rolled out the dough on a floured surface using a heavy marble rolling pin to achieve the perfect thickness. The dough was then folded repeatedly to create the layers that would bake into golden, flaky perfection. She cut and shaped each croissant with care, laying them on baking sheets to proof. Next, she prepared the danishes, spooning a variety of fillings, strawberry, blueberry, and cheese, into the centers of the delicate pastry squares. Each one was a little masterpiece, ready to be baked to a golden brown. Cakes and cookies. As the morning progressed, Sara moved on to her favorite part, cakes and cookies. She creamed butter and sugar together in the stand mixer, watching as the ingredients transformed into a fluffy, pale mixture. This was the base for her famous chocolate chip cookies. She added flour, eggs, and a generous helping of chocolate chips before scooping the dough onto trays. For the cakes, she prepared a variety of batters: rich chocolate, tangy lemon, and classic vanilla. Each cake was baked with love and precision, ensuring they rose perfectly in the oven. Once cooled, Sara would frost and decorate them, turning each one into a work of art. The equipment of the trade. Sara's kitchen was filled with an array of specialized equipment. She used a dough scraper to clean her work surface and a bench knife to cut the dough. Her piping bags and tips were essential for decorating cakes, allowing her to create intricate designs with buttercream frosting. A set of digital scales ensured her measurements were always exact, crucial for baking success. Opening the doors. By 7 a.m., the bakery was filled with the mouth-watering aroma of fresh bread and pastries. Sara brewed a pot of coffee and unlocked the doors, ready to welcome her first customers. The display cases were filled with an array of colorful treats, from macarons to tarts, each one more tempting than the last. The morning rush was always the busiest time of day. Regulars lined up for their favorite pastries and breads, exchanging warm greetings with Sara as she filled their orders. New customers marveled at the selection, often leaving with more than they had planned. Sara's assistant, Emily, arrived to help manage the front of the shop. Together, they served coffee, packed pastries into boxes, and made sure every customer left with a smile, a moment of calm. By mid-morning, the rush had subsided. Sara took a moment to enjoy a cup of tea and a warm croissant, savoring the quiet before the lunch crowd arrived. She used this time to plan the afternoon's baking, ensuring she had everything she needed for the next round of treats, afternoon delights. The afternoon was dedicated to more intricate desserts. Sara prepared eclairs, piping them full of rich custard and dipping them in glossy chocolate ganache. She crafted delicate millefeuilles, layering crisp puff pastry with velvety pastry cream. She also worked on her famous cheesecakes, blending cream cheese, sugar, and eggs into a smooth filling. The cheesecakes were baked in a water bath to ensure they stayed creamy and smooth, with no cracks on the surface. Closing time. As the sun began to set, Sara and Emily started to clean the bakery. They washed the equipment, wiped down the counters, and restocked the display cases for the next day. By 6 p.m., the bakery was closed, and Sara could finally rest. The rewards of hard work. Despite the long hours and hard work, Sara loved every minute of her day. The joy of creating delicious treats and seeing the happiness on her customers' faces made it all worthwhile. As she walked home, she felt a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that her bakery was a cherished part of the community. And so, every day, Sara continued her sweet symphony, bringing a little bit of joy to downtown with each and every bake. How do you think Sara's passion for baking contributes to the success of her bakery? And what qualities do you believe are essential for someone running a small business like hers? A day in the life of a farmer. John is a farmer who lives in the countryside on a beautiful farm. Every day, he follows a routine to take care of his farm and his family. John wakes up early in the morning, usually around 5 a.m. The sun is just beginning to rise, painting the sky with soft pink and orange colors. The air is fresh and cool, and the farm is peaceful and quiet. John makes a cup of coffee to start his day, then puts on his work clothes and boots and heads outside. As John steps outside, he sees his beautiful farm stretching out before him. The farmhouse is cozy, with ivy growing up the walls and flowers blooming in the garden. There are large green fields filled with crops and tall trees that sway gently in the morning breeze. The barn, painted a bright red, stands proudly near the house, and the chicken coop is close by, with chickens clucking softly as they start their day. John's first task is to take care of the animals. He goes to the barn where the cows are waiting. The barn smells of fresh hay, and the morning light streams in through the windows. John feeds the cows and gives them fresh water. He can hear the birds singing outside as he milks the cows, collecting the fresh milk in a metal pail. The cows are important because they give milk, which John can sell or use to make cheese, butter, and yogurt. After taking care of the cows, John heads to the chicken coop. The coop is surrounded by a small garden with bright sunflowers and tall grass. John opens the door and the chickens rush out, happy to peck at the ground. He feeds the chickens and collects the eggs they have laid in their nests. He puts the eggs in a basket and keeps them in a cool place. The eggs are fresh and perfect for breakfast or baking. When the animals are fed, John goes back to the house for breakfast with his family. His wife has made a warm breakfast and they eat together at the kitchen table. The kitchen is bright and welcoming, with the morning sun shining through the windows. After breakfast, John spends some time with his children, helping them get ready for school. The kids run outside, playing in the yard before they leave, enjoying the fresh air and the smell of the blooming flowers. Once his children are off to school, John returns to work. He walks through the fields, which are covered in rows of crops like corn, wheat, and vegetables. The fields are green and lush, and the soil is rich and dark. John checks on the plants, making sure they are healthy and growing well. He uses his tractor to plow the fields, preparing the soil for the next planting. The tractor rumbles as it moves through the fields, and the birds fly overhead, watching the work below. Around noon, John takes a short break for lunch. He usually sits under a large oak tree near the fields, enjoying the shade and the gentle rustle of the leaves. He eats a simple meal, like a sandwich and some fruit, and watches as the clouds drift across the bright blue sky. In the afternoon, John might go to the local market to sell the eggs, milk, and vegetables from his farm. The market is in the nearby town, and the drive there is scenic, with rolling hills and fields full of wildflowers. At the market, John meets other farmers and townspeople, and they talk about their day and share stories. The market is full of fresh produce, handmade goods, and friendly faces. When John returns home in the evening, the sun is starting to set, casting a warm golden light over the farm. He spends some time with his family, having dinner together and enjoying the quiet of the evening. After dinner, John goes back outside to check on the animals one last time. The barn and chicken coop are lit by the soft glow of the sunset, and the farm is calm and peaceful as the day comes to an end. Finally, John returns to the house, takes a shower, and relaxes with his family before going to bed. He usually goes to bed early, around 9 p.m., so he can get enough rest for the next day. As he lies in bed, he feels content, knowing that his hard work has taken care of his beautiful farm and his family. His farm is not only his workplace, but also a place of beauty and peace, where he feels close to nature every day. What do you think are the benefits of living in the countryside based on John's experience? If you were a farmer like John, what would you enjoy most about the farm life? Emma, the heart of the family. Emma lives in a big city with her family. She has 2 daughters, Sophie and Lily, who go to primary school. Her husband, Mark, works in an office for a financial company. Every day, Emma has a busy routine to keep her family happy and her home clean. Emma wakes up at 6 a.m. before the sun rises. The city is still quiet. She likes this peaceful time. First, she goes to the kitchen. She boils water for tea and starts making breakfast. She also prepares lunch for Mark and the girls. Emma makes sandwiches, turkey for Mark, peanut butter for Sophie, and ham for Lily. She packs some fruit, yogurt, and a little treat for each of them. By 7 a.m., the kitchen smells of toast and eggs. Emma wakes up Sophie and Lily. They get dressed and come to the kitchen. "Good morning, Mommy," says Sophie. "Good morning. Eat your breakfast, girls. We have a busy day," Emma replies with a smile. Mark comes to the kitchen too. He is dressed in a shirt and tie, ready for work. They all sit together for breakfast, talking about their plans for the day. At 7:30 a.m., Emma, Mark, Sophie, and Lily leave the apartment. Mark goes to the subway station to go to work. Emma walks with Sophie and Lily to their school, which is close to their home. The city is waking up now. People are walking fast to work, and cars are driving on the streets. After dropping off the girls, Emma returns home. The apartment is quiet again, but there is still a lot to do. Emma starts her housework by washing the breakfast dishes. Then she does the laundry. The washing machine hums as she cleans the living room. She picks up toys, folds blankets, and makes sure everything is in its place. Emma likes to keep the house clean and tidy. It makes her feel good, and she knows her family will feel comfortable at home. By 10 a.m., Emma has finished most of the cleaning. She makes a cup of tea and sits down for a short break. She enjoys the quiet moment before starting the next tasks. Emma thinks about what she needs to do next. Go to the grocery store, pick up Mark's clothes from the dry cleaner, and maybe buy some fresh flowers for the dining table. At 11 a.m., Emma leaves the house again. She goes to the grocery store to buy vegetables, meat for dinner, and some snacks for Sophie and Lily. Then she goes to the dry cleaner to pick up Mark's clothes. Finally, she stops at the florist to buy a bunch of sunflowers. She knows Sophie will be happy to see them. When Emma gets home, it's 1 p.m. She puts away the groceries and starts preparing dinner. Tonight, she will cook roast chicken with vegetables and mashed potatoes. She enjoys cooking and likes making healthy meals for her family. At 2:30 p.m., it's time to pick up Sophie and Lily from school. The girls are excited to tell Emma about their day. They walk home together, talking and laughing. When they get home, the girls do their homework at the kitchen table while Emma finishes cooking dinner. She helps them if they have questions, but they are getting better at doing it on their own. By 6 p.m., Mark is home from work. The family sits down together for dinner. They talk about their day, sharing stories and smiles. Emma loves this time, when they are all together. After dinner, Emma helps Sophie and Lily get ready for bed. She reads them a story before they go to sleep. The girls love bedtime stories, and Emma enjoys reading to them. When the girls are asleep, Emma and Mark have some quiet time. They relax on the couch, watching a TV show or talking about their day. Emma feels tired but happy. Her day was busy, but she took good care of her family and home. As she goes to bed, Emma is ready to do it all again tomorrow. How is your daily routine similar to or different from Emma's? What do you think is the most important part of your day? A day in the life of Mr. Brown, a high school English teacher. Mr. Brown is an English teacher at a high school in a lively, busy town. His day is always full of surprises, creativity, and the energy that comes from working with students. The alarm clock buzzes at 6 a.m., but Mr. Brown is already awake, eager to start his day. He begins with a quick jog around the neighborhood, letting the cool morning air wake him up. As he runs, he thinks about the lessons he has planned and the students he'll see. At 6:45 a.m., Mr. Brown is back home, showered and ready for breakfast. He makes a smoothie packed with fruits and spinach. It's his secret weapon for staying energized throughout the day. With his smoothie in hand, he sits down at his kitchen table to review his lesson plans. Today, he has something special in store for his students. By 7:30 a.m., Mr. Brown is on his bike, weaving through the busy streets on his way to school. He loves biking. It's faster than sitting in traffic, and it gives him a chance to clear his mind before the school day begins. He arrives at school just as the sun is rising, casting a warm glow over the campus. The first bell rings at 8:15 a.m., and the hallways fill with the sound of students chatting and laughing as they head to class. Mr. Brown's first period is with his senior English class. Today they're diving into Shakespeare, but not in the usual way. Instead of just reading Romeo and Juliet, Mr. Brown has arranged for the students to perform key scenes. They're split into groups, each one responsible for interpreting and acting out a scene. The students love it. They get to be creative, and Mr. Brown is thrilled to see them bring the words to life. After the excitement of first period, Mr. Brown's second class is with a group of sophomores. They're working on writing persuasive essays, but Mr. Brown has added a twist. Today, they're holding a mock debate on a fun topic: cats versus dogs, which makes the better pet? The students are eager to defend their positions, and the classroom buzzes with lively arguments. Mr. Brown guides the discussion, helping them think critically and back up their opinions with strong evidence. The bell rings for lunch at 12 p.m., but Mr. Brown isn't headed to the teacher's lounge. Instead, he's running a writing workshop for a group of students who love creative writing. They bring their stories, poems, and scripts, and Mr. Brown offers feedback and encouragement. It's his favorite part of the day, seeing students express themselves and grow as writers. After lunch, Mr. Brown has 2 more classes. One is focused on modern literature, where the students are reading The Catcher in the Rye. Mr. Brown loves leading discussions about the complex characters and themes in the book. The students are deeply engaged, sharing their thoughts and making connections to their own lives. The last class of the day is all about poetry. Mr. Brown has planned a poetry slam where students perform their own poems in front of the class. The energy is high as students take turns at the front of the room, sharing their work. Some poems are funny, others are serious, but all of them are met with cheers and applause. Mr. Brown is proud of how brave and creative his students are. When the final bell rings at 3:30 p.m., Mr. Brown could head home, but he stays a bit longer to tutor a few students who need extra help with their essays. He enjoys these one-on-one sessions. They give him a chance to really connect with his students and help them improve their writing skills. By 5 p.m., Mr. Brown is finally ready to leave school. He hops back on his bike and rides home, thinking about the day. Once home, he takes a short break to unwind, maybe watching an episode of his favorite TV show or reading a few chapters of a new book. In the evening, Mr. Brown often works on his own writing. He's been working on a novel for a while now, and he tries to write a little every night. The ideas flow easily after spending a day teaching, surrounded by stories and words. As the clock nears 10 p.m., Mr. Brown starts to wind down. He reviews his plans for the next day and makes sure everything is ready. Teaching is hard work, but it's also incredibly rewarding, and Mr. Brown wouldn't trade it for anything. With a sense of accomplishment, he heads to bed, already excited to see what tomorrow will bring. Mr. Brown stays after school to tutor students who need extra help. Have you ever taken advantage of extra help sessions or tutoring? How did those experiences help you with your studies? Mr. Brown is passionate about literature and shares that passion with his students. Have you ever had a teacher whose passion for a subject inspired you to enjoy it more? What difference did it make in how you felt about the subject? A day in the life of Clara, a language student in the city. Clara is 20 years old and studies languages at a big university in the city. She shares a small rental apartment with her friend, Mia. Clara's days are full of classes, work, and study. Here is a story about one of her typical days. Clara wakes up at 7 a.m. Mia is still asleep, so Clara quietly gets out of bed and tiptoes to the bathroom. She brushes her teeth, washes her face, and then makes a quick breakfast, some yogurt with fruit. Clara and Mia often take turns making coffee, but today it's Clara's turn. The smell of fresh coffee wakes Mia up, and they chat a little before starting the day. Clara packs her backpack with her textbooks, notebook, and laptop. She's taking Japanese this semester, so she needs to bring her language books. At 8 a.m., Clara and Mia leave the apartment together. Mia has a different class schedule, so they say goodbye at the bus stop and head to their separate classes. Clara's first class starts at 9 a.m. Today, she has a Japanese grammar class. The professor explains complex rules, but Clara enjoys it. She likes learning new kanji characters and practicing sentence structure. After Japanese, Clara has a break, so she goes to the library to study for her next class. At 11 a.m., Clara goes to her Japanese conversation class. In this class, she practices speaking with her classmates. They discuss different topics like culture, travel, and daily life in Japan. The class is lively, and Clara enjoys practicing her Japanese with her friends. The class ends at 1 p.m. Clara is hungry after her classes. She meets Mia at a small cafe near the university. They order sandwiches and smoothies. As they eat, they talk about their classes and weekend plans. After lunch, Mia has to go back to her class, but Clara has time to study. Clara goes to the library again. She has an assignment for her Japanese class, so she spends 2 hours working on it. She writes a short essay in Japanese and reviews vocabulary. Clara likes studying Japanese because she dreams of traveling to Japan one day. At 4 p.m., she packs up her things and leaves the library. Clara works part-time at a coffee shop near the university. Her shift starts at 5 p.m. and ends at 9 p.m. Clara enjoys her job. She likes making different types of coffee and talking to customers. The coffee shop is always busy, and Clara works quickly, serving drinks and snacks. Some regular customers even practice speaking Japanese with her, which makes her happy. After work, Clara feels tired but accomplished. She takes the bus home and arrives at the apartment around 9:30 p.m. Mia is already home, studying in the living room. Clara takes a quick shower and then joins Mia. They prepare a simple dinner together, maybe a pasta dish or salad, and eat while watching a TV show. After dinner, Clara and Mia clean up and then relax. Clara reads a Japanese book to improve her language skills, while Mia does some online shopping. Sometimes they listen to music or watch a movie together. At 11 p.m., they both start getting ready for bed. Clara sets her alarm for the next day, says goodnight to Mia, and falls asleep, thinking about the new things she'll learn tomorrow. Clara's life as a language student is busy but exciting. She loves studying Japanese, working at the coffee shop, and living with her friend in the big city. Every day is a new adventure, and Clara enjoys every moment of it. How does Clara balance her time between studying Japanese, working at the coffee shop, and spending time with her friend Mia? What strategies do you think are important for managing a busy schedule like hers? A day in the life of Officer John. Officer John is a police officer in a busy town called Oakville. Oakville is a lively place with a mix of old and new buildings. The town has narrow streets filled with shops, cafes, and parks. There are also big offices and schools, making it a place where many people work, study, and live. Every morning, the town is full of activity, with people walking to work, children going to school, and buses and cars filling the streets. Officer John wakes up at 6 a.m. every day. After a quick shower, he puts on his blue police uniform. His badge shines on his chest, and his boots are polished and ready. For breakfast, he enjoys eggs and toast with his family at the kitchen table. His wife, Sara, prepares his coffee, and they talk about their plans for the day. After breakfast, he kisses his wife and 2 children, Emma and Jack, goodbye. At 7 a.m., he heads to the police station, which is located in the center of town, near the old clock tower. When Officer John arrives at the station at 7:30 a.m., he meets with his team. The station is always buzzing with activity. Officers are answering phone calls, preparing for the day, and talking about the latest news in town. Officer John reviews the day's plan with his colleagues. Today, his tasks include patrolling the busy market square, checking on the schools, and responding to any emergencies. At 8 a.m., Officer John begins his patrol. He drives through the market square where vendors are setting up their stalls. The market is one of the busiest places in Oakville. People come here to buy fresh fruits, vegetables, and other goods. Officer John enjoys greeting the vendors. Many of them know him by name, and they wave as he passes by. He keeps an eye on the area, making sure everything is peaceful. Sometimes he helps people who are lost or have questions about the town. One of Officer John's most important duties is to help children cross the road safely, especially near Oakville Elementary School. At 8:30 a.m., he arrives at the school. The street is crowded with parents dropping off their kids. Officer John stands by the crosswalk, directing traffic and making sure the children cross the road safely. The kids love seeing him, and they often give him high fives as they walk by. Officer John feels proud knowing that he helps keep them safe. After the school rush, Officer John visits the local shops and businesses. It's important to him that the shop owners and workers feel safe. Oakville has many small shops, like bakeries, bookstores, and clothing stores. The shop owners appreciate Officer John's visits. He talks to them about their concerns and checks that everything is in order. Sometimes they offer him a cup of coffee or a snack, which he happily accepts. Around 12 p.m., Officer John takes a lunch break. He goes to a small park near the town square. The park is a peaceful place with green grass, tall trees, and benches where people can sit and relax. Officer John enjoys his sandwich while watching the people in the park. He sees children playing, couples walking, and elderly people feeding the birds. This quiet moment in the middle of a busy day is his favorite time. It gives him a chance to rest and enjoy the beauty of Oakville. In the afternoon, Officer John often responds to emergencies. Today, at 2 p.m., he gets a call about a car accident on Main Street. He quickly drives to the scene where 2 cars have collided. The drivers are shaken, but thankfully, no one is seriously hurt. Officer John talks to the drivers, makes sure they are okay, and writes a report about what happened. He also helps direct traffic around the accident until the cars are towed away. At 3 p.m., Officer John visits Oakville Middle School to give a talk about safety. The students are excited to see him. They listen carefully as he explains the importance of being safe in their town, whether they are walking to school, riding their bikes, or playing outside. The children ask lots of questions, and Officer John answers them with a smile. He loves teaching them how to stay safe and responsible. By 4 p.m., Officer John returns to the police station. He finishes his paperwork and discusses the events of the day with his team. Before he leaves, he checks the plan for the next day and makes sure everything is ready. The station is still busy, with officers preparing for the evening shift. At 5 p.m., Officer John drives home. The streets of Oakville are quieter now, as people return to their homes after a long day. When he arrives home, his children, Emma and Jack, run to greet him. They are always excited to see their dad. After dinner, Officer John spends time with his family. Officer John loves his job as a police officer in Oakville. Every day is different, and he enjoys being part of his community. He knows that his work helps keep the town safe and that he is making a difference in the lives of the people he cares about. What aspects of Officer John's daily routine do you think are most important for keeping the town of Oakville safe? And why? How does Officer John's relationship with the people in Oakville, such as shop owners and school children, contribute to his effectiveness as a police officer? Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for upcoming videos.